Welcome to the Veterans View Show, and I'm Leroy Davis, your host, retired United States Navy Chief Petty Officer from the world's greatest Navy. And today we'll be talking to veterans from Common Defense and from Veterans for Responsible Leadership. And we have a great show today, so please stay tuned and listen. But before we go to station break, I want to get Ed from Common Defense to introduce himself. Tell us your branch of service and your experience to where you are today.
Well, thank you, Leroy. I'm delighted to be here this morning. My name is Ed Anderson. I am the Georgia organizer for Common Defense. We are the nation's fastest growing progressive veterans group. I'm an Air Force veteran. I did almost 10 years in the Air Force as a meteorologist, where, among other things, I flew through hurricanes and typhoons. I've lived in Georgia now for about 36 years, and originally I'm from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area.
Okay, great. And now we'll have Darren from Veterans for Responsible Leadership, and we've had Darren on the show before. So Darren, introduce yourself again for the viewers.
Okay, my name is Darren L. Harris, and I am a retired United States Marine Corps veteran, and I'm proud to be a part of actually two organizations. So serve with Ed Anderson with Common Defense, as well as working with Veterans for Responsible Leadership. And Veterans for Responsible Leadership came about just about right after January 6th. And to help veterans who may be struggling or those who are targeted by extremist groups, to let them know that there is a group of veterans who will stand with them and work with them.
And since we're talking about Common Defense and Veterans for Responsible Leadership, this is going to be a great show, so stick around. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
While our roots remain firmly planted in the heart of East Alabama, we're taking a bold step forward to expand our reach. You've always known us as East Alabama Advertising. Now let us reintroduce ourselves as AMP. As we embrace this exciting transformation, we're not leaving behind our core principles. In fact, we are clearly defining them and carrying them forward with a renewed spirit. Our commitment to excellence, creativity, and a deep understanding of our clients' unique needs remains unwavering. At AMP, our mission is clear: to harness innovative strategies and technology, to amplify your message, expand your reach, and drive results. By leveraging our expertise in digital marketing, creative storytelling, and data-driven insights, we amplify your brand's voice to captivate your target audience and make a lasting impact. We believe in the power of reach. We focus on tapping into our partners' ideal customers to reach them right where they are. We are community-minded and relationship-driven. We combine strategic thinking, creative flair, and technical expertise to create compelling advertising campaigns across all channels, whether it's through engaging social media campaigns, captivating video content that tells your story, or highly targeted digital advertising. We are easy to work with because we care about the success of each of our partners. Your success is our success. AMP, Advertising, Marketing, Production.
Now, Ed, I would like for you to just give us a quick synopsis of Common Defense.
Sure.
And your goals.
Sure.
And what you intend to accomplish.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Common Defense is unlike some of the other veteran groups. We're not dissimilar to them, But what we do in Common Defense is provide a platform for veterans to express their voice, to give the veteran view on a variety of issues. I was one of the founding members of the Black Veterans Caucus within Common Defense. And the Black Veterans Caucus is specifically addressing issues related to social justice and police reform. We also have a Latinx caucus as well as a women's caucus within Common Defense. We do what's called code switching, where we have a 501c3 and a 501c4. And under both of those, we do nonpartisan get out the vote work under our C3. Under our C4, we do advocacy work on behalf of veterans, on behalf of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in this election.
Okay. And so what's your mission statement in essence?
Our mission statement, ironically, is not much different than what Darren was saying about Veterans for Responsible Leadership. Our primary mission is to counter the extremist views of MAGA, specifically MAGA, and right-wing extremists and anti-Semites.
Okay, great. Now, Darren, you've been on the show before, and for those who have not heard Darren on the show before, tell us your mission about Veterans for Responsible Leadership.
So Veterans for Responsible Leadership, we work with veterans specifically, of course, those who may have been targeted or will be targeted by extremist groups, just as Ed explained, and to help them understand that they're a group of veterans who are committed to saving democracy. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's truly about, saving and upholding democracy. And there are many different messages that are out there, that target veterans. And the reason why veterans are targeted by these extremist groups is because of our leadership capabilities, our weapons training, and our sense of belonging and patriotism to this country. And so what we want to do is let veterans know that you can still be a patriot, you can still be a leader, and you can stand and save democracy.
That's great, because we want veterans to lead and not get involved with these extremist groups, because that's sort of leading the country, in my opinion, down the wrong road. And I'm gonna make this statement, and then you guys can chime in how you want. I was listening to the news this morning, and then I was reading some of the social media pages, and it was something in there about not Homeland Security, but the people who send the response in to provide money, food, and all of that. FEMA. Anyway, it said FEMA sent a message out on yesterday to withdraw all their people out of Western North Carolina because extremist groups came in. Yes. And until they can get the National Guard in there or whatever, they have to withdraw all of the help that they was giving the citizens of this country. So chime in, how you want to chime in on it?
Well, I'll tell you, I did see that news story as well, and it was disturbing that FEMA had to take those steps to protect their workers. But what's even more disturbing are the words that former President Trump spoke yesterday about using the National Guard and the military to help to bring order to American streets, talking about turning the military against American citizens. And if people don't realize it, he did that once before. Okay? He did that in Lafayette Square in Washington, D.C., when he tried to turn the military on the Black Lives Matters protesters. People should be afraid of what this man is saying, what he is promising of doing, and veterans do not need to get caught up in this, I have to go out here and back a particular person to show that I'm a patriot. Patriots stand for the American values. We swore an oath to the Constitution, and that's what we're still defending to this day.
And with that said, what would you like to add, Darren?
Well, what I would like to add, we're seeing these blatant attacks on American citizens, but even in a very subtle way, or maybe even blatant at this point, there's something called Project 2025 that we need to be more concerned with. Because in Project 2025, there are two particular chapters that concern veterans, specifically, in my opinion, Chapter 20, which deals with the veteran administrative system. But in Chapter 3 is more concerning, because what happens is it's an attack on our federal government. They want to reduce, in this project, this proposal, they want to reduce the number of federal jobs. Here's what we know. Many service members, when they discharge honorably from active duty service, many of them are qualified and they get these federal jobs. And so if you start to reduce these jobs, what you're going to do is you're going to affect and impact the livelihood of many to-be veterans and some of the veterans who are currently working in the federal system. I'm talking about everything from TSA, you talked about FEMA, the Department of Education, I can go on and on and on, and of course the VA. And so if we allow these things to happen, then this country is going to be in horrible shape. And so it's not just about electing the president, but it's also who we elect to Congress, because that's going to be important. Even our local elections are important. We're seeing, even in Montgomery, we're starting to see some of the shakedown in our local school boards. And so we have to be mindful as veterans, because it impacts all of us. And even if you're not a veteran, let's say you're part of a Gold Star family, or you're a person who loves veterans, I would say that you must be concerned about what's happening in America today.
And I would like to just say, this is the Veteran View Show, but it's also community involvement.
Right.
So we can't make veterans aware without making the community aware with what's going on. And, we don't leave out the family, because the spouse or the significant other, when we deploy and go places, are left behind taking care of the family. And one of the things that I always tell people, when I retired from the Navy, I went to work for the Department of Veteran Affairs. Okay. So to go to work for the Department of Veteran Affairs, I had to swear in again to another oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Then I went to the Alabama Law Enforcement Academy, where I had to swear in again to support and defend the Constitution of the state of Alabama. So in essence, what I'm saying, this word that we're putting out is for everyone. Right. It's not just for veterans. Now, when you talk about Department of Veteran Affairs, and I read Project 2025, it's talking about 300,000 jobs gone of veterans and spouses and civilians who work for Department of Veteran Affairs. When you talk about the Department of Education, you're talking about basically destroying all public schools and nothing but school vouchers going to private schools and stuff like that. I have nothing against private schools, don't get me wrong, because people that can afford to pay to send their kids to private schools, more power to them. But there's so much going on that we just need to make sure that we are doing the best we can to get the word out to people. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that not only you are a 501c, but you are a political 501. So tell us that one again.
Exactly. Our 501c4 is our advocacy platform where we endorse political candidates. As I said, we've endorsed certainly the Harris Walls ticket here in, at least in Georgia. We've also endorsed retired Brigadier General Sean Harris, who's running against Marjorie Taylor Greene. We endorse Sanford Bishop, who is running in the Columbus area. As well as some others on a national scale, including Ruben Gallego, who's running against Kerry Lake, Elian Omar in Minnesota, and Congressman DeLuzio in Pittsburgh. So we are increasing our profile in that regard. And if I can piggyback on something Darren shared a minute ago,
yes.
One of the things people don't realize is the plans under Project 2025 are to privatize the VA.
Right.
Okay? To privatize the VA. And it's just not going to happen. I mean, it's impossible. It's already the largest healthcare system in the world. And I don't see how the venture capitalists and investment bankers that line the coffers of one political party are going to be able to give us the service that needs to be improved already, but I don't see how they're going to supplant that by privatizing the medical services that we receive.
Right, and I agree to that. You know, I don't know how to put this, but you know, when we had 9/11 to happen, and then all of the military members, it doesn't matter what color you were or anything, but come back wounded, and some missing limbs and different things. We started the Wounded Warrior hospitals on different bases, and I think that took away from the services that the VA provided, because I give you a good example here at Fort Moore, which used to be Fort Benning. The VA had to put a clinic over there in order to take care of those veterans as well. So whereas if they had just sent them to the VA from the beginning like they used to, then the VA would have saved money and issue. Now, I want to keep talking about this, but what do you have to say, Darren?
I think, you know, we are all speaking the same language here, and we understand the importance of, you know, veterans getting involved in community and having a voice. One of the things I appreciate about Common Defense, and I had an opportunity to share with them in one of their trainings in North Carolina a few weeks ago, and they really trained veterans how to use their veteran voice, what we call veteran mystique.
Right.
And speaking as a veteran and talking about our concerns and why these things impact us. And one of the things that I kept focusing on and going back was Project 2025, because I started to think about, and I started to peel the onion and think about the snowball effect that it would have if you begin to lose all of these jobs. When people lose jobs, they lose income. When people lose income, they have a possibility of losing their housing. Now you have homeless veterans. Not only that, but it impacts your mental and physical health. I mean, there's so many compounding issues that could happen just by someone losing their job. And so that's why, you know, I'm an advocate, and I use my veteran mystique to keep talking about this issue during this campaign, because, you know, and Sean Harris has been amazing. He's doing an excellent job in Georgia, and, you know, I support him just as Common Defense does. But we have to keep this message before veterans and say to veterans, you have a voice. Your voice matters. You serve this country honorably, and your voice deserves to be heard.
And I just want to say, to make sure that our veterans understand, that when we are in combat, when we are out there fighting, whether you're on a ship, whether you're on the ground as a Marine, whether you're in the air as an Air Forceman, whether you're on the ground as an Army man, we take care of each other. We take care of each other. We go to the buddy system with what we do. We fight for each other. We take care of each other's back. And that's why we win, because we've been trained to take care of each other. And what I put out to veterans all the time is, what's the most important thing a veteran has? Is, what's a veteran's sphere of influence? It's his voice and his dollars. And my motto when I was commander of the American Legion, I had it on the side of the building in big old writing: veteran, support those businesses which support you.
Right.
Because it seems like it's about the dollar now. It's not about the people of this country. Whether you red, yellow, brown, or black, it's not about you. It's about the people at the top who has all of the money. And as long as they can keep the money, they don't care if you can't make a living to support your family. And that's what the whole thing is about. Your sphere of influence is your dollar and where you spend that dollar. And that's not just for veterans now, because I say we are in the community as well. The community needs to understand also that their sphere of influence is their dollar and where they spend their dollar and how they spend their dollar. Now, getting back to you, Ed.
Yes, sir.
What else would you like to add about Common Defense?
Well, one of the things I'd like to encourage your viewers who are veterans, and as you said, the veteran community is not just the person in uniform. It is the spouse, the children, and others. Every time they PCS, the children, family PCSs too. What I'd like to encourage veterans to do is go to www.commondefense.us and check us out. Give us a look. I think that we will fit the appetite of a lot of veterans who are proactive, who want to do things, veterans like Darren and myself, who are involved in the political system, the social justice system. We are the mechanism that can help bring a voice or give you a voice to express to your community.
Okay.
So,
And you know, one thing, and you're teaching, and I hope that you're doing it, is what I try to say to our veterans here in our community is you get what you want in your community based on who you vote for. And each state is a little bit different. So you have your county commissioners, you have your city council, you have your legislature, and you have your state senator, state legislator. So who you put in office for your community as far as Russell County, Alabama is concerned, which is where we are now. Right. Who you put in those seats determines on what you get in your county. So when you have no big business, it's because of who you put in office. They are not putting this on the budget to bring what you need here in your community. Darren, tell us in closing something that you really want to get out to our viewers.
Veterans get involved. Get involved on all levels. One of the things that I'm grateful for, I live in Montgomery, Alabama, and we are grateful to have veterans in all facets of government. Our city council president is a veteran. There's another veteran that's on the city council. County commissioner, we have veterans. And so one of the things, once again, I can appreciate about VFRL, Veterans for Responsible Leadership, as well as Common Defense is, you know, they motivate veterans to become a part of the process. And, you know, you may go in maybe thinking that my voice doesn't matter, but once you start hanging around like-minded veterans and you start to see the issues and how things start to impact not just you, but also your family, because that's really important too, because many of our family members, they also benefit, you know, from our benefits. And that's why it's important that we continue to fight for those benefits as well, because I mean, they can go to school, the housing is involved, so many different things. And so if you're a veteran and you're listening to us today and you say you are tired of sitting on the sideline, I want to challenge you. I want to motivate you and encourage you to get on the front lines. Let's put boots to the ground,
there you go.
Hands to the plow, 10 toes down. Let's get it done.
All right.
all right.
And Ed, your final words.
You know what? I have no final words based on what Darren just said. I will just say amen and ditto to that. And God bless America. And veterans, please come be a part of the change for progress. We're going forward. We're going to win. We're not going back.
Okay, and that's great. And I just want to say in closing that when you watch this show, and if you want to let any of your friends know, you can go to Beam YouTube as well and watch this show. Okay, that's another hit for Veterans View, and let's say one time together, get out the vote. Okay, thank you. We'll see you next time.